Yeah, hi all. Good morning. So, can you confirm, is it able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So, today in this session, I'm going to be covering for your first PRC. So, as we know, like we got the schedule from college this month and onwards, like I think 25th, I think 25th, right? Before that, we plan to complete your first review classes along with documentation. So from our side, so for all projects, whichever you chosen from our side, we already developed the project and abstract PRC1 document that is what college is looking for. Even comparatively that we expected more sections, so we even included the more sections, but whichever you not required for your first PRC, you can remove that. Maybe it may use for your complete documentation. And also we created SRC PPT, also SRC PPT, but design phase. This phase is including two things. One is abstract SRS and as well as design phase. So design, we will give the Word document. So from that diagrams, you should copy to the PPT. Okay, but SRS PPT will give you to the continuation diagrams that you have to include in the PPT. But all the contents and everything is available for every project. So feel free to come to the office and take your project and explain. First of all, try to connect with the developers. So we assigned already developers for all the titles. So they will explain you the project in the system. They will execute the project. They will show you the what are the functional requirements and what are the different function modules or roles available in the project, and each module what it will perform. Internally they will showcase menu wise. They won't execute everything, but they will show you the menus, what are the functionalities we will perform as part of this particular project. And your source code also ready. So if anybody interested to enhance it, that means yeah, it's a little if you take last minute, you cannot get the time to enhance. So anyway, after this PRC will announce that also, but still I'm giving the option. Like your source code ready, those who want to take the source code and those who want to enhance the code or analyze the code, you can pay the remaining 1500 and you can take the source code also. That is also readily available. But if you want only PRC1, nothing to pay as of now. So you can take the abstract document and PPT, and you can explain your project from developers and present the same thing to the college. That is the first PRC. In first PRC, no one will ask you the source code, but still, by the safe side, we already created and completed all the testing of the source code. So it is ready for deployment in your laptops. Okay. So this is just an update for you people all. So whenever, like I already mentioned, Friday onwards, please come. But Friday, Saturday, we noticed that none of you came to the project explanation. At least from today onwards, try to start the coming to the office and start your working. Okay. And yeah, before going to the what we will cover and what as part of the first PRC, what you require to explain. So any other doubts, please let me know. Yeah, I'm taking it, no doubt as of now. And also, I observe that many of you is not attending the classes and even not coming for the practice at the office. So we already welcome you people for attending the regular online classes, and as well as we ask you to come to the office for practice, either offline or online, because developers are available. They are ready to explain the things and they're ready to sort out the issues. But I'm not sure why you people are not utilizing the developers' time. But please spend some time to understand and learn the things. Okay, that is also will help you to get more insight on the project and technology what we are going to be using. Okay, so coming anyway, so I'm not hearing any doubts. Or if you are not able to speak, you can even type in the chat also. Maybe, yeah. Coming to the next point. So as part of the first PRC, we got to know from the college, like these are the content you require to provide, as part of the analysis, like SRS, software requirement specification analysis phase, you require to submit the profile of the client, organization and developer. So that means the profile about the company which we are providing, as well as the guide. So the external guide, I can say that. So the developer who assigned to your project, they will give the guide profile. You can submit that. And after that, existing proposed, which includes like abstract, introduction, existing drawbacks and proposed advantages, and scope and object. These all sections will be part of the second heading. And after that, feasibility study. So that is also be provided as part of your document and PPT. And each module explanation, that is also covered. And the SRS document. So SRS includes 4 types of requirements. So basically software requirement specification, which includes hardware requirements, software requirements, functional requirements, and non-functional requirements. All 4 categories we captured in the document and as well as in the PPT also. And after that, design phase means diagrams like use case diagram, activity, sequence, class. So these all diagrams captured in the Word document, and that also will give it to you as part of this particular phase 1. So as part of phase 1, you will get the 3 documents totally: one SRS document, one design document, one PPT. Okay, along with explanation from the developer, the project which you selected on the system basis, like execution basis. They will lively run your project and showcase that. So why we are even initiate that project live execution means, maybe if somebody interested to enhance the project, to work on your project some additional functionalities, it is the time to enhance your functionality. You have 1 more month to submit your source code. So from our side, whatever the committed functionalities we completed. Now to that, if you want to refine that, like maybe you want to enhance user experience or validations or maybe some more functionalities, yes, you can do with the help of the developer. So developer always will support you. So that's why we are ready with that. But if you want to get the source code, definitely you need to complete the full payment. Okay. Yeah. So this is all about what college is expecting and what we are giving. But we will go. I will go to demonstrate one of the project. Will take as a example, and where I will explain you what are the sections and each section what it talks about. And still, if you have doubts, you can ask me. Okay. So I take the one digital platform as a title, and this is the project. So I told you, right, we will give the like SRS document along with PPT. So this is the SRS document. So if you see, this SRS document consists, first one, abstract. So basically abstract means high level idea of your project basically. So anyway, in oral, if you while you're speaking, first you need to introduce yourself, obviously, and after that you require to introduce you about your project. So what is the idea of the project and what is the objective of the project, that you require to explain, right? First start of the project, that we are indicating in the abstract. Okay. So abstract always will indicate you the short description about the project. Short means brief information about the project, I can say that. And introduction. So the second section, mostly you will get introduction. This is basically will tell you the background story of the respective abstract, means maybe some terminology or maybe some background of the concept. Like example, OTT. This is project about OTT platform. So maybe we may cover like what is OTT platform or why it is more influenced in these days. Such kind of content you can put into the introduction. Okay. And after that, scope and objective. So scope and objective means objective, anyway, you know the what is the main objective of this project, like what are you mainly going to be implementing as part of this project. That is, we always talks about the objective. Whereas scope is indicating is there any limitation, or the better word I can say that, where it can be working. Example, if you're talking about online website, so definitely online website required internet to access the website. Similarly, what else we have? Scope means to what extent we can access. That is a better word. Scope of variables we have in, right, like Java or Python, local variable, global variable. Similar to that, what is the scope of this project? To what extent we can use it, where we can use it, or how we can use that kind of information. Generally, we'll put in the scope. Okay. And this is additional section. This is not required for this phase, but we just mentioned that. Lateral survey means just it's giving you is what are the previous systems before this and how they are working. Just brief information will provide, but this section may not require for your current PPT. Okay. And now, as I mentioned already, this is the one of the section you have to mention: existing drawbacks, proposed advantages. Means before this system, what is the existing system? So in existing system, we may have three types. Even I can speak about the project what we are going to be developing in any time. It might of three types of project generally. One is there is nothing available in the market. You are initiating a new idea and you are starting your project. So that is a kind of new innovation. So at that moment, nothing is there. That means at this moment, that is a manual process. Let's take example. Consider something like any example if you take any online application. Initially, we don't have movie booking system, right? Initially, I mean to say initial days. Let's take example. Starting days, we have to go to the theater and we need to book the tickets. But later on days, we got a innovation like online ticketing. That means a user need not to go to the respective place. User can book the tickets online itself. So that's the first time innovation we call. First time it is innovation. But now if you take, we have so many book my show, easy moves like that. We have different sites. Now if you work on the same project, now what is the existing one, what you are going to be doing something very simple or any new item, whether you are enhancing user experience or whether you are enhancing any functionality or whether you are enhancing any database concepts like that. So basically first type is innovation, altogether a new idea. Second one, enhancement for the existing project. So this is the second category. Third one is a kind of implementation on the thesis or a kind of paper. So basically in online, some people will write a paper and publish on the different journals. Okay, it's not implemented, just they will publish the paper about their idea, about their maybe analysis or about their survey. Now we have to take the paper and we can implement on our own basis. It's not new idea, someone is already given, but that is not physically implemented. Now we are implementing. This is the third category. So first category, idea altogether, new idea from our brain, we are implementing. Second one, the project is there, we are enhancing the project. Third category, someone given the idea, we are implementing. It is under the category of internship also. Internship means some company is giving idea, you are implementing. Internship also such kind of third category only. So these are all different categories of projects what generally we are going to be implementing in the real time. Okay, so that is all talks about existing, means what are the problems you are facing before this project development and how you overcome by implementing this project. That is what you are always talks about the existing and proposed. First you have to talk about your project, that is introduction or abstract, and then talks about before this project what is the problem people are facing or users are facing, and after this project how you overcome that particular point, you have to explain in existing and proposed system. That is all talks about these two things. Okay, and after that one of the very important component, modules. So modules means generally whenever you're doing any project, is a big size definitely. So we can't develop or we can't explain everything together at a time, right? We have to split into small parts, that each part of the smaller part only technically called as modules. So the entire project is divided into smaller modules, and each module internally having some set of functionalities to perform on the system. So that is how we divide the modules. So here if you speak about modules, so what are the roles or what are the major actions we perform in the system, that we are segregating into generally modules part. Okay, and after that we have SRS, means requirement specification. So first one, software requirements. So it indicates what are the different softwares or technologies which we used as part of this project to develop. It might be languages, it may be softwares, it may be technologies, it may be servers, anything. So what all together you used for the project, you can mention all together as a software requirements. Because if I want to implement the project as a new, as a separate one, so what are the things I need to take a reference? That is what it talks about. So these are the different softwares I used while I'm developing the project. So out of that, is there any paid version or all open source? That also you can mention, because we are using as a student project all are open source. But still, if somebody using the paid source in real time, they may mention that also, like any integrations or something like that. And what is the minimum hardware expectation? Means after delivering this project to somebody or after completing this project, what is the minimum hardware required to execute in mission? Like if you take example, you develop a project, you given to somebody, they opened in the Pentium P4 or Pentium. It is a software, it's a mission, but we can't run this project because it requires some basic expectation, basic configuration. That is like minimum i3 processor, minimum 4 GB RAM, and minimum hard disk is required. Such kind of minimum requirements are there. Without that, we can't execute this project even though it is successfully completed from our side. So that is you required to mention as part of hardware requirements. Okay. And now, very most important, and in your college, most of the guides will ask you, this is the part, functional, like what are the functionalities you implemented as part of this project? Or what are the functional requirements you are going to be implementing as part of this project? This is very important. And this one, we all clearly segregated each module wise, because you may clearly understand what each module, what we are doing. And also you may understand what are the functionalities internally having in each module. That's why we segregated in your both documents module. So if you go for admin module, so these are the different functionalities. Like in this project, like if you see, we have like login, customer, view customers, add movies, view, add web series, serials, plans, categories, notifications, contacts. These are all different actions can perform by the administration. So these are the different functional requirements which we are performed in the this project. Similarly, what customer can do. So here, these are the different customer can do that. So likewise, for every project, we capture both module wise all the requirements, and even we included non-functionality. Non-functionality means stability, like login, authentication, security through authentications, and performance means how much time it is taking for login or redirecting the web page, and how good it looks like means user experience. So that all comes under the non-functional requirements. Okay. And if you speak about high security mobile browser operating compatibility, that means our project can run in any browser, any system, Linux, Unix, Mac, and everywhere. Mobile responsive, all our templates what we choose in are mobile responsive. That means the same website you can open in the mobile as well as our missions like laptops or desktops. And high quality performance, that means it takes very less time to navigate to one page to another page. Security through authentication, we are providing every website we provided proper authentication and through login and registration. And less memory, that's what I told you, we are using all open source and high level technology, so all are occupied very less memory, even in MBs it doesn't take much GB also. So that's why you good accessibility and usability, so user friendliness. So all organization standard non-functional requirements we captured. So I'm just giving a bit as a till point, so if anybody have any doubts, please ask me, otherwise I will continue the next section. Till the point, any doubt? So till the point, what we covered, if you speak, like we covered abstract introduction and existing proposed, along with advantages, disadvantages, and we covered SRS, that means functional requirements, non-functional requirements, software, hardware requirements. This is what we covered as of now, and you required to explain these all things in PRC also. So as I mentioned, right, the functional requirements, whatever I shown on the this document, for everyone is captured in your respective projects. But even though, to make you clear, more clear, like orally, if you see, maybe you may understand by the lining, definitely, but still what our idea, if you see the physical system also, you better feel, right? That's why we also allocate the developers to make you understand. Like if you go to the office with your project, they will give you this Word document PPT. Along with it, immediately the developer will sit with you for 15 to 20 minutes. They will open your the project lively in your in their mission, and they will show you how that is executing, how login is working, such kind of navigations they will show you, so that at least some of the functionality capture your brain by looking visually. And also you may ask some doubts also at that time itself. Any more doubts still? uh, i'm not I'm not getting anything, so can I move then? Any doubt? Okay, fine. So the next one, feasibility study. So what it is indicating, sir? Generally, as I mentioned, right, we may go for three types of projects in real time or in every place, not in whenever you want to start a new thing. So even business also, right? If you want to start a business, you require to understand, like, is there a new idea? Like example, you are starting something like printing something, digital print. Is it existing one? If it is existing, what newly we can customize that to the customers? Or if it is new, how to branding to the customer. So these are all things will be part of your analysis, right? So feasibility study also will tell that. ఒక్క 5 minutes కూర్చో దానికి తీసుకు కూర్చో అండి So as part of feasibility study, so mostly it talks about the basically different types of feasibility means possibility, whether we can do or not. Like example, so example, what are the softwares we taken? Is it feasible to use or not? Or what are the like timelines we given? Is it feasible to complete within the timeline or not? Or whether it is feasible to implement in the real time or not? Such kind of analysis we will do in the feasibility study. So if you speak here, we have different types of feasibilities, like economical means budget. So this is morely talks about in terms of students, like if you take any purchase one, let's take example, to implement this project, you require to invest 15 to 10,000 amount. It's not feasible, right, for you people. Maybe for the external client it might be feasible, but for, because they may run it and they may get some earnings, but for you, just for demonstration for college purpose, right, it may not feasible. So we have to take all our free sources. So such kind of analysis we have to do. So example, one X technology required, but it is a paid source. Then we have to analyze the internet. What are the other options available in the market instead of that technology? If you take about MS Office only, MS Office paid source. We cannot use free of cost, but there is an open office that is a free source we can use. So likewise, what are the different free sources we have to check for that? And technical feasibility, as I mentioned, right, what are the functional requirements we completed or we presented? Is it really feasible to develop and showcase to the end of the time or end of the product? So that is technical feasibility. Social means how it is visible to the users or end users or customers or public. So that is all talks about social. And operational. So these are the different types of feasibility studies we performed as part of these projects. So we captured the points, and please read this document. You will get definitely the point understanding. Still, if you not, developers will understand. And we implemented through process model called waterfall, because as we know, we are going phase by phase, not all together. First we are completing analysis design, then we are going for development and implementation, then testing, and then finally implementation, that is showcasing to the guides. So that means it is a step by step process. Now all together not we are doing at a time. So we are going step by step procedure for implementing our project. That's why we indicating waterfall. So this is a step by step procedure for doing our project. So as has come, we are not mentioning because as of now it's part of document, but PPT we not mention. So we are not following that one. And coming to the architecture, we are following all our web applications. So web application will follow the client server architecture. That is, a client will send a request through even workstation. So now our web application of workstation, if it is mobile, smartphone, like that. So we are sending a request to the internet, and internet will process your request by connecting with the server, and even internally it connecting to the database, and it will send back the response to the customer. So this is how client server architecture will work. But by adopting the client server architecture, again we are reframing our own architecture called MVC or MVT basically. So if it is Java, we are following MVC. If it is Python, we are following MVT. So model view controller architecture, which looks like this one. If you see, when user send a request to the controller will segregate the request and send back to the model, means backend server, and it will interact with the database and send the response to the customer called view. Same basis, even we have in the Python also MVT. This is the way. User send the request to Django, and Django will propagate the URL and send the view to the customer. So likewise, in Python and Java, we are following two types of architectures. One is MVC, model view controller. So where model talks about the business logic or business layer, where you are implementing Java or Python basically. And this is mostly will also interact with your database called MySQL or SQL, whatever the database, it will interact. And view is the presentation logic, which indicate your HTML pages. So where user can interact with your application. And always controller will act as a medium between view and model. That means it will routing the request from client to server, server to client. So that is the major work done by the controller. So this is the architecture we are following in our application development. And final the step is conclusion. So which indicates as part of this project, what is your aim? So what you are going to be concluding as part of this project, just you can conclude yourself and say complete final thanks to your reviewer, like who are taking the presentation. Say thanks to them and ask the question and questionnaires, like if any, like just before I ask you, right? Similarly, you also people after conclusion, let them like thanks for this opportunity and this is all about my project. And if you have any further questions, please let me know. So like that, you can conclude your presentation. If they have any questions, you can ask me. And also, as I mentioned, right? So try to prepare more and more this Word document, PPT, as well as your system understanding also, because I saw last few years, many of them before the one day they're taking the document directly submitting and they're reading the document. See, whatever the PPT we are giving, they're reading. That's it. They are not explaining. See, explanation always different from reading, right? News reading is different from news explanation. Reading means line to line, just mark up. So that's not required for the college because they have the document, they can also read it out. But they want some explanation from you. That means you need to understand the content. You need to tell orally without seeing the content. That is very important. That will also give you some presentation skills when you're going for any company also. So that kind of presentation, please prepare because you have good enough time now. So prepare well, and as much as you have the doubts, as much you connect the developers and clarify your doubts. Okay. And the same Word doc as I mentioned, right? So this is the PPT we are also giving along with you. So abstract and interaction, scope, and everything we segregated as a slide by slide. And this PPT also we are giving along with this Word document to you now. Okay. Only you require to add to this, if you see, it will concluded by process model, after that architecture. Okay. But after that, as I mentioned, right? So we are concluding with conclude because we are only providing PPT for SRS. Now college requires second phase also, right? Second phase means design. So now after this slide, you can add 4 more slides, one for sequence diagram, one for activity diagram, one for what do we can say that use case diagram. So the diagrams you can include and showcase the diagrams on the PPT. But the diagrams will give you in terms of Word document, that also will provide you. You don't require to draw, but try to understand how to draw it using star UML. Maybe last time we taken one class for you people, but if you want, we'll take one more class on the star UML also, like how we draw the diagrams and how to customize the diagrams also. If you want, we will also showcase that class also. But if you want, please ping in the group. We'll allocate one slot for you to explain the how to draw that 4 diagrams and each diagram what indicating. But anyway, I will tell you orally. Generally, use case diagram will indicate your users or modules. So each module, what are the functionalities we are performing? So that is indicating by use case. And sequence means time to time, what are the actions? Generally, see, first we will do the registration and then login, then add to customer, like that. What are the sequence we will follow in our application? That is indicated by sequence diagram basically. And after that, we have a class diagram, so which is basically indicating technical implementation. So what are the programs you written? What is the significance of each program? That is we are indicating by generally class diagrams. So that all will given to you when you are at when you are reaching the office. If you have any doubt, you can ask the developers or me or the Vinod or anyone, so you can get the good information. Okay. So this is all about your first PRC contents and how to explain the content to the college. But please prepare well, because if you prepare well, it may improve your confidence and even it will clear your all questions also. And also, as I mentioned, right, try to spend some time with the like practice also, and please attend the regularly classes also. So I saw very few people only attending. Please utilize the class also. Yeah, this is all about your content and what do you call the first PRC concepts. So anyone have any questions or any doubts, you can ask me. And if you're unable to speak, you can ping in the chat also. I will explain the questions. Maybe I can give the 6 minutes to question and answers till 11:40 so that we can round up the class. Okay. I will wait for 6 more minutes. Please ask me if you have any individual questions or anything, or if you have personally, if you want us, you can ping me my number also on WhatsApp. That's up to you. But here I will wait for 6 more minutes. Please tell me if you have any doubts or any questions. Anyone or have any doubts, please ask me. At least can anyone confirm, is it clear whatever I told you today? Can anyone confirm that? Okay, great. Okay, it seems to be no questions to me. So thanks for all. Please do the basic work and all the best for your peers. Bye bye. Take care.